Yes.
Lord, I had taken. Lord, I was trying to emphasize
Yes.
on the fact, Lord, that the judgment starts, Lord, with corresponding rights on humans, and then adds, Lord, those 5 freedoms.
Yes. Yes.
So, Lord, first was that the judgment says, Lord, that there are rights in the animals on account of duties on humans. Those rights are statutory rights, and those rights have to be read with fundamental duties under 51A and the 7 freedoms, the 5 freedoms. That's, my Lord, the ultimate conclusion of this judgment. I'll repeat it. Because there are duties on humans, there are corresponding, quote unquote, quote unquote, corresponding rights in favor of animals. They are statutory rights under 3 and 11.
Yeah.
They have to be read along with the 5 freedoms.
Correct.
And, my Lord, what flows from fundamental duties under 51 capital A. And in fact, I will show you, my Lord, that now the judgment says that when you read the so-called rights under 3 and 11, you will read into them. You will read into them, my Lord, these freedoms and 51A. This has 2 or 3 problems. One.
But Mr. Rohatgi, the question we are determining, how does it really matter whether this is the whatever the Bullock Sab is in the nature of right or not? Even if we say humans have duty to do or not to do something, so far as the judgment is, the litigation is concerned, it will have the same effect. Whether we hold that animal has right or not,
No,
or humans have obligation or not.
with great respect, the entire judgment from the beginning proceeds on the premise, and I show you a passage that in this case, the Supreme Court says we are concerned only, my Lord, with the rights granted to animals and nothing to do with humans. How can, my Lord, you have an approach only of animals and not with humans? My Lord, that's the answer to your Lordship's query. It's a very important question. Turn to para 15. 1.5. If you ask me, my Lord, with great respect to the learned judges, they have done a lot of labor in this case, no doubt about it. But, my Lord, the entire approach is skewed, my Lord. Turn to para 15. 1.5 at page 562, my Lord.
Just be mindful of the clock also.
Yeah, I know, my Lord.
We have to.
I know, my Lord. I'll try. Yeah, as fast as possible. Lord, I don't
Yes,
want
sir.
to spend a lot to say. Para 1.5.
Yeah.
We have to examine various issues raised in these cases, primarily keeping in mind the welfare and well-being of animals, and not from the standpoint of organizers, bull tamers, bull racers, spectators, the participants, or the state of the center, since we are dealing with the welfare legislation of a sentient being over which human beings have domination and standard we have to apply deciding issue and species by is subject to the state. With great respect, you can never have, you know, half a picture. The courts are dealing with humans and how humans are behaving. How can you say we are only talking about the rights of some species which are not humans? If you ask me, Lord, with great respect, you ask a wrong question, you'll get a wrong answer. This is the wrong question. Lord, thereafter, kindly turn to 42. Lord. 42. I will not read 4-5 paragraphs and then make 2-3 submissions, Lord, on this judgment. 42, Lord, at 585. Sections 3 and 11, as indicated, confer no rights on organizers of Jallikattu or Bullock but only duties and responsibilities, but confer corresponding rights on animals. Please mark this line. Below, this line comes without any discussion, without any reasoning, and I submit without any rationale. And, my lord, your lordships have held in Justice Sahay's words, my lord, one of the best judgments on per incuriam, my lord, and sub silentio in that alcohol case, my lord, synthetics and chemicals, my lord, I draw your lordship's attention. That what is, my lord, recorded as a conclusion, without discussion, without precedent, borders, my lord, either on per incuriam or sub silentio, and cannot be a declaration of the law under Article 141. That's what, my lord, your lordships have gone to the extent of saying, go a Supreme Court, not High Court. So this, my lord, saying that you read 3 and 11, it's a duty on the obligation on the human being not to act, my lord, if I may say so, excessively, which will lead to a sanction, but it will lead to this. There is no warrant in the statute, my lord. Especially when you are conscious of, my lord, fundamental duties which themselves can't be enforced. If it can't be enforced by humans against humans or against government, this proposition, my lord, you will read this proposition by some process of reasoning. Not there at all. Now come back, my lord, to what I was reading. I had read, my lord, 64, 65 to your lordship. Come back to that for a second. 64 was those 5 freedoms, my lord.
Yeah.
I read, my lord, kindly see placitum D. These 5 freedoms are considered as fundamental principles and welfare, and we can say that these freedoms, kindly mark, my lord, find a place in 3 and 11, and they are for animals like rights guaranteed to citizens under Part 3. With great respect, my lord, doesn't follow at all. Part 3 are rights given by humans to humans by a constituted assembly. Then, my lord, 66. Rights guaranteed under 3 and 11 are only statutory rights. Same have to be elevated to fundamental rights as done by few countries. Rights and freedoms granted to animals under 3 have to be read with 51A GNH, which is the Magna Carta of animal rights. I respectfully submit there is nothing in 51 to suggest that it's a Magna Carta. Now, my lord, kindly turn the page. Turn to 68, my lord. 51A subclause H says, it shall be the duty of every citizen to develop scientific temper. Please underline the phrase humanism, the spirit of inquiry and reform. Emphasis has been made to the express humanism, which has a number of meanings, but increasingly designates as an inclusive sensibility for our species. Humanism also means to understand benevolence, compassion, mercy, etc. With great respect, my lord, I have checked a couple of dictionaries. No dictionary has the meaning of humanism which is mentioned here. And I'll show you, my lord, one by one.
Yes.
The mistake is that their lordships are thinking humane. Humane and humanism are completely different. Humane is have a humane approach, have a merciful approach, compassionate approach, be humane. But humanism has nothing to do with it. Humanism is a rationalist who doesn't believe either in religion or, my lord, in some supernatural power. He believes in rationalism. That is how, my lord, it is defined in every dictionary. I can read it, my lord, but may not be necessary. But I can read one. A system of values and beliefs based on the idea that people are good and problems can be solved by using reason instead of religion. A belief based on principle that people's spiritual and emotional needs can be satisfied without following a god or religion. Being a rationalist, borders on being an atheist. That's how it means. Rationalism. There is a large number. Anyway, so my lord, that's how it is. Now, my lord, your lordship sees the last portion of 68. To look into the welfare and well-being of animals and the duty to prevent infliction of pain or suffering on animals highlight the principle of humanism in 51. My lord, this is not correct. Both articles G and H have to be read into 51, especially into 3 and L, and to be applied and enforced. Now, pause here for a minute. My lord, fundamental duties can't be enforced. Your lordships have said repeatedly, my lord. Now it will be enforced by being, my lord, welded into 3 and 11. That's yet another error. 51 is enforcement of fundamental duty. My lord, if your lordship desires, my lord, your lordship can note. I mean, it is settled law, but your lordship might just note. Fundamental duty is not capable of being enforced, my lord. 2002, 1 SCC, 428, and that directive principles can't be enforced, my lord, was said long back. Directive can't be enforced, AIR 58, Supreme Court, 731. Now, my lord, your lordship will find, kindly turn now to 595, my lord. My lord, with respect, C71, my lord. We have, however, lot of avoidable, non-essential human activity like bullock cart race, Jallikattu, etc. Pause here for a minute. How does the court decide, my lord, that it is not essential or non-essential? How? It's a part of culture, it's a part of amusement, it's a part of religion, whatever it is. The court is not an arbiter of deciding, my lord, whether it is non-essential or not. Can you say, my lord, walking in a park for a human being is non-essential? He need not walk, he need not run, he need not do this, he need not do that. How do the court say, my lord, it is non-essential? So you start with this, that what you are doing is really non-essential, you are doing for amusement, and therefore you are causing, my lord, this kind of pain. But thinking that their only instrumental value are intentionally used, though avoidable, again avoidable. Ignoring welfare of bulls solely for human pleasure. I showed you 11M. 11M can solely be entertainment. There's nothing wrong with it. Not when you ride a horse, it is solely for entertainment that you ride a horse. After domesticating a horse, you ride. You can't do it without domesticating. I'm going to show something else, Lord, a little later. Now turn to 72. 72. Every species has a right to life and security subject to the law of the land, which includes depriving its life out of human necessity. 21 of the Constitution safeguarding rights and protects life in the word life is an expanded meaning which include forms of all life, which is including animal life, which is necessary for human life, fall within 21. So far as animals are concerned, in our view, life means something more than mere survival. This judgment of the Supreme Court that life means mere survival was meant for humans, not bare existence, your lordship would recall. It was not meant, my lord, in this form. Now go further. But to lead a life of intrinsic worth and honor. Animals' well-being and welfare is statutorily recognized under Section 3 and 11, rights framed under the Act, right to live in a healthy and clean atmosphere, and right to get protection from human beings against infliction of pain is a right guaranteed 3 and 11 and 50. Now, my lord, your lordship sees again in 74.
Yes.
Again in 74, your lordship get an amalgam of 3, 11, 51A, G and H. And if so read, last line of 74, bulls cannot be used as a performing animal since they are basically draught and pack, not anatomically designed, etc. etc. Yeah. Lord, one more comment I wanted.
Just wanted you to read section 7 and 8 of the Environment Protection Act.
Great.
So is there a duty cannot be enforced? They're just wondering, if you read section 7, 8,
Yeah, I'll read it.
and the writ is filed for a mandamus asking that you shall not.
No person carrying on an industry operation process shall discharge or remove or permit to be discharged or emitted any environmental pollutant in excess of such standards as may be prescribed. No person shall handle or cause to be handled any hazardous substance except in accordance with procedure and after complying with such safeguards.
So in a public interest litigation, let us take it. Find that the industry is doing precisely, the duty is there. Mandamus lies where a duty, perhaps it becomes a public duty because it affects the public. Will it not lie? I mean, petitions are filed.
This is statutory obligation.
No. The first issue is, it is between humans.
That's right. Supposing,
Why?
take a case where in a local body, a case is filed that animals are being treated, say dogs, as a very controversial issue, Kerala in particular, we know that. Or any other species, for example, they are treating the officers of the particular local body, they are treating them in a very cruel manner. Assume, hypothetically. Can a writ be filed by somebody saying, please don't do that? And a mandamus is issued to the officer, the chairperson of the authority. Please ensure that the duty under section 311 is enforced.
With great respect, man. In this example, it may be difficult for a court to tell the owner of an animal that you must ensure that the animal is fed in a particular manner, not chained, kept in a shed, not kept in scorching sun. That may not be possible. The position of environment in that may be different. This is an environment being spoiled by a human being to for a human being. But because rights are enshrined for human beings in our constitution and our laws.
That's right, but it is ought to be enforced against humans because cruelty.
But at whose instance?
I think it's the very person.
No,
any local, anybody.
No, I'm only saying that it is being enforced against a human, but at the instance of an animal.
That's right.
Yes, on behalf of the animal.
On behalf of the animal.
On behalf, where is that behalf? Or where do we get that?
Lucas.
Somebody would say, some law would say, this law says there's an obligation on you, Mr. So-and-so, not to inflict extra pain because if you do, you will be sanctioned. Fine. That it stops there. There is no law saying that there is a corresponding right in an animal to do this, that, or the other.
Take the case of, say, the degradation of a forest, wildlife protection, or the Forest Conservation Act. Can you not come and say, can a human not come and say, see, it is happening there, a lot of people are they're violating the law, cutting trees, Preservation of Trees Act you have in every state.
Yes, yes.
Trees cannot be cut. Whether it gives a right is a different matter, we are not talking about that. But a duty to not actually do certain acts as are laid down in the various acts would perhaps be enforced by a mandamus.
But the only difference is could be. The only difference seems to be in the case of animals versus humans, as opposed to the environment or other, which is for humans by humans. That seems to be the difference. And in any case, this is a matter of debate. It can't be in this fashion that if you have this duty, you have a right statutorily enforced, then 51A is enforced. How can 51A be enforced? We don't look at it anyway. 51A is being enforced by putting it into 3 and 11. 51A itself for humans can't be enforced. It may be a matter of debate, as my Lord Justice Joseph has put it. Yes, it could well be, but you have to have a debate and then work it out. Can't be in this fashion.
Yeah.
It's not A is equal to B and B is equal to C, hence A is equal to C. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. The entire judgment is founded on that.
Observation. Seventy last sentence.
17
No, 70.
7.
The last sentence, Further, animals like cows, bulls, etc., are freely used for farming, transporting loads, etc. That too for the benefit of human beings.
Yeah.
Then, of course, subjecting them to some pain,
Yeah.
that is unavoidable. Now, the question is whether the preservation of culture,
Yes.
whether that can be said to be for the benefit of human beings, whether that will fall under there.
Lord, culture would be a part of a human being's well-being.
Because they are
Culture is the part of
they are
somebody's
the
well-being.
why
What else is culture?
why this question is put is
Yes, sir.
farming, transporting loads, etc. So here whether this will fall there under preservation, whether it will be for the benefit of a human being.
Because our culture would be a part, and this would take color from Article 29. 29 uses the phrase that the people will have a right to conserve. It's a very peculiar phrase, my lord. It doesn't say protection or promotion, which would be normal, promotion of culture. It says, my lord, any section of citizens residing in territory of India or a part having a distinct language, script or culture of its own shall have the right to conserve. It's a right to, it's an absolute right to conserve. Just as you have a right of farming, you have a right, my lord, of conservation. I am grateful for that query. Now, my lord, let's take it a little further. Just take it a little further. When you domesticate an animal, my lord, it's happened over the last 5,000 years. You have to subject, my lord, the animal to what I call a carrot and a stick policy. Whether it's a dog, whether it's a horse. So you catch hold of a dog, catch hold of a horse, but wild horse, who's, my lord, running around in the wild, has had no interaction with humans. You catch the dog, the horse, you put him, my lord, in an arena, he can't escape. Then you slowly try to tame him, you sit on it, it'll throw you off. You then, my lord, whip the dog, whip the horse, you put him into submission so that he realizes that there would be a master. The master uses a carrot and stick policy. It will whip him, may not give him food for half a day, so that, my lord, the horse becomes submissive. And when the horse does what the master wants, it gives him, my lord, a carrot. It happens with a horse, it will happen with a camel, it will happen with a dog. Dog in your own house. If you discipline a dog and the dog is disciplined and does a good job, my lord, you will give him a biscuit. This is the carrot and stick policy. This has been followed over the years. And each of these, my lord, there are articles on this.
Not confined to animals.
I was going to say that. When you send, my lord, children to school, that old saying, my lord, spare the rod and spoil the child. I mean, that was an old saying. Today, there is no corporal punishment in school. My lord, in those days, when we were in school, it was there, very much there. So this is how, my lord, somebody is tamed. And at that point of time, when you are taming, my lord, the person, or the animal, you are inflicting unnecessary pain on him. No doubt about it. To bring him, my lord, into the domestic fold. And then he recognizes who the master is. My lord, in the case of a horse, your lordships have seen, is nothing new. You put metal hooves under the horse. The horseshoe. That is not natural, my lord, for a horse. You are putting it, my lord, a horseshoe or what is called a bite. Your lordship know, my lord, what a bite is. It is put in the mouth and it goes inside. And when you pull the rein to stop the horse, the bite goes inside. It will go here. The horse will bite on it and stop. It is well known. This is called a bite. This is actually inflicting, my lord, constant pain. This is constant pain on the horse. Forever, he will live with it and die with it. It's called a bite. Just see this, my lord. Kindly, my lord, have a look at this. Your lordship will find, we can see on one side is a ring, my lord, at the edge of the mouth, and the ring is attached to a rod. That rod, my lord, will come out of the other end and it will have a similar ring there. And through the ring, my lord, is the rein. Your lordship can see that? Through the ring is a rein here and one rein there. So the moment you pull it, How do you tell the horse to stop? The horse can't understand what you are saying. When you pull the horse, pull the rein, the horse will stop because this bite will go inside further. Yeah. So what I am trying to say is, beloved, it's a delicate balance. It is a delicate balance which has to be, done by virtue of rules, by virtue of ensuring, that unnecessary problems do not occur. But this kind of thing, per se, is actually speaking suffering, per se. But it is justified because of domestication. How?
So instead of unnecessary, can you say that it is unavoidable?
Just,
Unavoidable for the purpose.
I am very grateful, bro. Unavoidable is also a phrase. Can you remove this? Technically speaking, the horse was not meant to have this, blood. Or if somebody sitting over it. Or a donkey, being a beast of burden. They were not supposed to be beast of burden. Just because, he's born in that fashion. And he's not like a horse. Even today in this country, in several mountainous areas or certain regions of this country, most regions, these donkeys even today carry 50 kilos of weight, day in and day out. Day in and day out. Elephants, in Kerala and other places, carry lumber. Are they supposed to carry lumber?
Human beings do that.
Human beings do that. You go to mountainous areas where people can't go to religious places, they are put on the back.
Nainital I have seen.
Nainital. First you used to have a palki,
Yes.
palanquin, carrying that, or somebody all this is there now. You cannot, what I'm trying to say is, you can't look at all this in isolation. As if this is the highest pedestal which is there, and all the other human and those rights are not looked at. That not a correct approach. Now, there was a reference in para 15 to bull tamers. Because bull tamers was used in the PCA Act of the state in 2009. So the court has an adverse view of bull tamers in para 15. Now, a bull tamer or a horse tamer or trainer is very much required in our system to domesticate. Even when you use a bull for plowing a field or as a beast of burden, will you not domesticate it? How will you domesticate it? By a tamer or a trainer, whatever you call it. Para 15 castigates the provision of bull tamers in the PC Act of 2009, sections 4 and 5. That, with respect, is not the correct approach. So I have finally two submissions on this. One, that this is wrong. Yes, I don't say it again. Legally, it suffers from two problems. One, that these conclusions are reached without precedent, without discussion, and therefore, they are susceptible to the principle of per incurium or sub silentio. As explained, by Justice Sahai in 1991 4 SCC 139, paragraphs 40 and 41. I don't want to read it, 40 and 41, His Lordship discusses. Because the problem was, in an earlier judgment, by abruptly, a purchase tax was replaced by sales tax. Actually, it was just a typographical error, actually. Purchase tax was replaced by sales tax. It could have been corrected by an IA. But since it was a Supreme Court judgment, the High Court decided something, it came back to Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court said that it abruptly came without any, assuming it was to be brought in, not by a mistake.
Para which you are reading?
40 and 41.
40.
41 says incuria is carelessness.
We'll go through that.
Yeah, para 40 and 40. You Lordship may see that, right?
Yeah.
It says
We'll
any
go through it.
declaration.
We'll go through it.
Right.
We have understood your point. Yes.
This is followed, my lord, by several judgments. I'll give you one more and leave it at that. Mr. Justice Chauhan.
Just hand it over.
I'm just giving this.
Followed in, you can be.
Yes, yes. All right. Now, my lord,
There's one argument of Shyam Diwan, which he
Yes.
said, we just want to know what your response. He said that Article 21, through the conduit of human lives being lost, also because we are forgetting the other angle to the Jallikattu, which is that apart from animals being at the receiving end of cruelty, as it were, a lot of humans are losing their lives, injuries are taking place.
Lord,
What do you say about that?
With great respect, in every field of activity, people lose their lives. You are driving on a road. You may not be driving rashly. Somebody else does something. Somebody may die. Some truck may overturn. Some building may fall. Some bridge may fall.
But you are enabling it, enabling this to take place. The state is permitting it to happen. What is more, the state is actively promoted it by putting it out.
There also the state is promoting people to drive at 100 miles an hour. If you go from here to Agra, they made a road. The minister says drive at 120 an hour. It's a great road. I mean, it's a state which has done all this. So, this, and at the end of the day, it's not as if that millions of people are going to be killed like a famine. It's not one of those. I don't think, it's be stretching 21 in the same manner, that the judgment is stretched 51A into 3 and 11. I don't think, that should really.
That's it.
That Justice Chauhan's judgment, which follows.
You can just give the citation.
Yeah, just citation. 2011, 7 SCC,
Yes.
639, para 65 onwards.
We'll
65.
go to it.
Yes, that's it.
Anything more?
Just as an aside, Justice Chauhan used to have a diary, always.
Black diary.
All the judgments.
Black diary, black.
Black diary. I asked his lordship once, and he showed it to me. So it contains, in his hand, all the judgments, on various.
Oh, yes.
And that's why this judgment, your lordship will find, each judgment will have 50 citations.
50 citations.
Always.
In one judgment, you get a complete digest.
Complete. But I have asked him, he still has it.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I said you should donate it to a library or something. Somebody came,
Oh, it's sold. That is sold.
he doesn't want to do that.
The part of it. Yes.
The second objection of mine was
Yeah.
that what the court has done in reading 3, 11, 51A, 21, etc. amounts to legislation. And courts do not legislate. Your lordship may note,
Amounts to legislation.
yes,
Right.
that you read everything together as if one has gone and welded into the other.
Yes.
That is 2002 4 SCC 578, 7 judges. 2002 4 SCC 578. I am done with this. Only 5 more minutes I want. No more. Now I've left the judgment. In the current scenario, Mr. Simple took your lordship through the rules. I don't want to take your lordship through the rules again. But beyond the rules, we have several SOPs, standard operating procedures. Not only the rule, because I heard your lordship say in the earlier part of the discussion that some of the rules were not absolutely okay or tight enough. I understood that. There are some SOPs which seek to fill up that. And my second submission there is
That SOPs for different departments. Different department, different SOP.
yes, Milord. And my second submission at the last would have been that should your lordship find that there are some gaps, Milord, in the rules, I invite your lordships to indicate, Milord, in the judgment that they need to be tightened, and we'll do that. But that cannot lead to a situation of either, Milord, holding the law bad or holding the event bad.
Part of reading down.
Yes, reading down, or your lordship wants to give suggestions that please do this. I had said it, Milord, in the NJC case, that if the court did not find, Milord, favor with 1 or 2 clauses, the court could tell us and we would have, Milord, gone back and done it. But the court didn't do that. It's all right, Milord. I mean, I'm just saying, Milord, it happened. And I think it was in this very courtroom. It was in this very courtroom, Milord, if I'm not mistaken. In this one or the next one. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, Milord, those SOPs, if your lordship will have, Milord, volume 3 of the joint compilation. Just very quickly, I'll show you.
So,
Lord, page 1051 onwards. I just give you a flavor, my Lord. I will not read most of it.
Yeah, don't read because
Yeah, I won't read. Just the flavor. In 5 minutes, my Lord, just give you what you
What is the page?
My Lord, 1051 onwards of Joint Compilation, Volume 3. It has been issued to all the collectors. Though, my Lord, it is only South Tamil Nadu where this event is popular, only in the south. 3 districts, my Lord, Dindigul, my Lord, Madurai, and what is it? There's one more, but difficult to pronounce. Aryan. Aryan. So 3 districts, my Lord. 2 I know, the third I didn't know. 1051.
yeah.
My Lord sees the subject, my Lord. Animal Husbandry, Jallikattu 2021, assigning duties and responsibilities to departments, SOP for Jallikattu, reference PCA, then several GOs, etc., etc. See, my Lord, second para. In order to facilitate conduct of Jallikattu. Volume 3, please. My Lord, kindly see 1051. Does Justice Roy have it, my Lord? It says Convenience Compilation, Volume 3.
So basically, it's sort of SOP.
Any, my Lord, large number of SOPs. Justice Roy doesn't have it.
No, it's okay. I understand that you are speaking about the SOPs issued to further safeguard the.
My Lord. Like gaps. Some of what is your Lordship's comment.
Executive instruction.
Executive instructions, guidelines, whatever you may call it.
No difficult, we'll go through it.
Yeah. So it goes on, my Lord, from 1051 and goes on, my Lord. I want your Lordship to see, my Lord, 1061. Just see 1061, one page, my Lord. See, my Lord, the checklist. It's a checklist, my Lord, which has to be completed successfully before the government will grant you permission. Kindly turn to 1061.
Yeah.
Whether the organizers inform district collector in writing, prior permission, whether the place is notified in the Gazette, whether collector granted permission, whether names of participants are registered, whether venue is inspected, whether committee is concerned of district office to oversee, conduct Jallikattu in conformity rules, whether bulls are tested by animal husbandry, whether bulls are tested by so and so disease, not intoxicated, etc. Your Lordship will recall intoxication, cheating substances and all that. Whether organizer arrange Jallikattu open ground, collectors giving consent, then my Lord, bull holding area, whether they provide adequate space. There's a lot of discussion before your Lordship, small space, this, that, and the other. Whether bulls provide adequate feed, water, shabiana, all that. Because one phrase used in the judgment is, don't keep the bull in scorching sun. That's the phrase used. But my Lord, I asked myself, suppose there was no domestication, the bull would be either scorching sun or snow. We have given, my Lord, a shed to him. We give him food also. So it's not, my Lord, you can't look at one side, is all I'm trying to say. You have to look at all sides. Domestication has problems, but domestication has advantages too.
See, if you are conducting this test by the veterinary doctors or animal husbandry,
Yes.
now why not such a thing be conducted immediately after the race also? So anything whether anything was done during the race, that can be detected then
Could be.
immediately after.
Yes.
Because
We
during the
are
race,
certainly open to
tail twisting,
We are
etc.
certainly open, my Lord, to do it. Your Lordship can record my statement. The officers are here. We
Because
will
the-
instruct them to issue an SOP right
The
now.
allegation is that during the race,
Something, yes,
all
yes.
these things are being done. So once prior to that, if you are conducting this,
Yes.
nothing was there then. So immediately there are.
My Lord, we will do it. Your Lordship can record. Secretary is here. We will instruct him right now. Not difficult. Goes on to some.
It's not being.
See, my Lord, the checklist goes on and on.
The yard, they will collect it.
We'll do that so that also can be.
Your Lordship could record, my Lord. We will do it. I'll instruct him right now in writing, and they will, my Lord, put in SOP. No problem.
Anything more?
Yeah, so it goes on and on, Milord. I don't want to read it this up.
You don't have to.
Milord, I had a compilation to show how exactly it is done. An application is moved, somebody looks at it, then this checklist, all that is there, but you forget the application. Milord, there is lastly, Milord. I found one article when I was doing a research about an officer, professor of philosophy from the US. The article is, do animals have rights? I want your lordship to see it. I did not find anything else, Milord, except this. Just have a look.
The lady.
Sorry?
It's written by a lady.
No, Milord.
The-
One Mr. Carl Cohen, Department of Philosophy, University of Michigan.
Which year is that?
Milord, this.
97.
Milord, copyright is of 97, but I think it's an old one.
We'll go through that. We'll go through that.
It's an old one, yes.
We'll go through it.
Milord, just there's some very kindly, Milord, turn to 94 for a second. Just see, Milord, the first para under the heading, why animals do not have rights. My lords have that.
That-
Yeah. Many obligations are owed by humans to animals. Few will deny, but it certainly does not follow from this that the animals have rights, because it is certainly not true that every obligation arises from the right of another. What I was trying to say, at least in the case of animals. 3 lines down. But the proposition all rights entail obligation does not convert simply as the logicians say. From the true proposition, all trees, plants, does not follow all plants are trees. Similarly, not all obligations entailed by right. Some obligation, like mine to repay the money I borrowed from you, do arise out of rights, but many obligations are owed to persons or beings who have no rights whatsoever in the matter. They turn to the next page, without middle. Animals cannot be the bearer of rights, because the concept of rights is essentially human. It is rooted in and has force within a human moral world. Humans must deal with rats all too frequently in some parts of the world and must be moral in their dealing. But a rat can no more be said to have a right than a table can be said to have an ambition. To say of a rat that it is right to confuse categories, to apply its word to a moral category that is contained only in humans, etc. Then this goes. That's Milord my submission.
Thank you.
I'm very
Milord, I just wanted to mention one thing. Yesterday, your lordship had asked me to circulate a note on the Maharashtra Milord stand. May I just do that?
Do-
And secondly, Milord, just to, in my earlier note, we have dealt very elaborately with the rules, because yesterday we could not place the Maharashtra rules. That is in my first note. So these are the 2 Maharashtra rules.
Now we'll go
I appear for Karnataka, Milord. My
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. By 3 o'clock, we'll go back to the other side.
Yes, Milord. Milord, I am appearing for state of Karnataka.
Karnataka, we have not heard so
Yes.
far. Yes. Yes, tell us.
Milord, our amendment act is also impugned in writ petition 1152 of 18.
Yes, tell us.
Milord, please take it that when your lordship decided Nagaraj, the event in Karnataka was not subject matter of Nagaraj.
Kambala is different from Jallikattu.
Kambala is different from Jallikattu, also bullock races in Maharashtra, as is dealt with by Nagaraj. Lordship will find that in paragraph 2, we are dealing with Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu of Nagaraj. What happened is that after the judgment in Nagaraj,
First brought an ordinance and that was replaced by
the
an act.
petitioner started writing representations, saying that because of Nagaraj, your race, which is called Kambala, is now become illegal, and therefore you should stop it. That's why we brought an ordinance, Milord. It was, Milord, ultimately substituted by an amendment act. It has also received presidential assent.
Yeah.
In fact, this writ petition, Milord, was tagged after the referral order made in Jallikattu's case. This writ petition, Milord, was tagged.
In how many cases is the Karnataka Act actually in question?
Only one, Milord, I could find. 1152 of 2018.
1152 of
2018.
only one.
Only one.
Oh, very good.
And tagging order is also subsequent to the referral order.
And I think it was Mr. Luthra who appeared for the petition.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's right. So you make your
Yes. Now, there's 2 or 3 things I want to
Whatever it is in Maharashtra case, you are adopting.
that I am adopting.
Adopting.
Whatever Mr. Sibal argued, whatever Mr. Rohde argued.
Adopting Maharashtra. Yes.
There are 3 or 4 things I want to indicate. One, in the counter affidavit which we have filed, we have described the nature of race which happens.
Rules are made.
Rules are made. The nature of race, my lords, is for a particular kind of, the race is through a particular kind of buffalo.
That's right.
100 to 135 meters, only found in coastal region of Karnataka, my lord. The buffaloes are also only found in coastal region of Karnataka.
Is it buffalo or
Bullock.
bull?
No, domestic water buffaloes they are called. Domestic water buffaloes they are. The race takes place in slushy water fields.
Slushy water field.
About 15 to 20 seconds, my lord.
20 seconds.
Yes, 100 meters.
It's only 100 meters.
That 135 is what we counted.
That is stipulated in the rule.
That's not how the event is described in my counter. That's not stipulated in the rule.
So 20 seconds. Is it ticketed? Ticketed. Will they collect money to actually watch
No,
it?
that's the averment in the petition is, my lord, that it is not ticketed. So I don't have to, my lord, really deny that averment.
Then what else is there?
Lord, initially, my lord, the batch of district in Karnataka High Court after your lordship judgment in Nagaraj.
Yes.
High Court, my lord, directed state government to conduct an inquiry at the ground level as to how these races happen. That inquiry report is at page 324. My lord. Those were interim order. They were, my lord, ultimately disposed of because that year passed by.
Oh.
Page 324 of volume 1 of that convenience compilation which petitioners have given is a report, is of the spot inspection report by a 3-member committee, my lord. It says that all the rules just prescribed by AWBA and the rules framed by the state government are being followed.
Yes.
There are 2 diverse reports, my lord, one by them and one by us. We don't mind if the lordship sees that any race which is available on social media. I'm not saying one will be different than the other, all will be same.
Only bulls are used.
No. Only buffaloes.
Only buffaloes.
Yes.
And 2. A
That pair of 2, my lord.
Only one person will ride.
They will not ride. They will run behind the buffalo.
They will not ride. Makes it worse.
They will not ride. No. They'll run behind the buffalo.
No whipping. No kind of.
No whipping. Whipping is there, my lord.
Whipping is there.
Whipping is there. The video shows that the whipping is there.
You permit?
Yes.
So will it not attract levity?
No, it will not. I'll show. So therefore, my lord, one that site report at page 324, rule at page 328 of same volume, volume 1 of the compilation. My lords, 2 legal propositions and 1 article in addition to what all have been argued.
That's all.
Yes. Lord, a propensity of an act being misused, since your lordships are dealing with validity.
Mr. Goel, give us the page once again.
Yes, I'm sorry, my lords. Page 324 of volume 1 of compilation is the report at the site by the committee. And page 328 of volume 1 are the rules.
This is petition 23.
Lords, that deals with the 2016 notification of the central government under 22 of the Indian Act.
Karnataka involved in this petition 23.
Lords, yes, notification, Lords, is common for the entire country.
That's right, but is the Karnataka state involved?
No, but our act is after that.
Is the Karnataka?
Lord, I don't know. I don't have a notice in writ petition 23.
Yeah. You don't know.
That in any case challenges the central government notification which was withdrawn. So, my lords, insofar as those two broad grounds are concerned of legislative competence, we also say that it falls under NT 17. That's, my lords. And insofar as, my lords, infraction of a constitutional provision is concerned or any other provision of constitution is concerned, my lords, we say that there is no other provision which is violated, number one. Number two, an allegation or an apprehension, rather, my lord, will be correct phrase, that an act or an event might be misused cannot, my lords, lead to quashing of a legislative action, my lords. Just one judgment, para 145 of Roger Matthews, your lordships have said so, or reiterated so in 2020, volume 6, SEC, page 1.
Yeah.
The second legal proposition, Lord, over and above what has been argued, is, Lord, what would amount to remove the basis of the judgment?
Mullaperiyar case in the state of Kerala versus Tamil Nadu.
That also, my lords, but my lords, a slightly detailed disposition is there in this Hindustan construction that arbitration came by a 3-judge bench. That's 2020-17 SEC 325. Those 2-3 paragraphs, my lords, if your lordship permit, my lords, subject to time.
Give the paragraph.
Para 53 to 58.
This is Nariman judgment.
That's right.
We have seen.
Para 53 to 58. Lord, specific contention that the basis of the judgment you wanted to remove was not placed before the legislature is negated, my lord. And even an amendment,
Citation
2020, volume 17 Supreme Court cases,
2020, volume 20 SEC.
volume 17 SEC, page 325,
Paragraph
53 to 58,
we'll go through it.
includes even an amendment act.
That's right.
Now, my lords, the third submission, my lord, is based on an article, my lords. One more article, my lords, other than over and above what Mr. Rodki gave, my lords.
Please pass it on.
That, my lords, deals with the judgment of your lordships in in Nagaraj, specifically.
Written by?
Lord, it's actually written by 2 law students. It's published in SEC in 2014.
So you can just give the citation to SEC.
Lords, the SEC has a NUJS law review citation.
We'll see. Law students. We'll write it law students article. Right.
Yes. But my lord,
To identify.
please permit me to, my lord, just read 2 or 3 pages there.
No, don't do that. We'll go through it.
Lords,
When you say we'll go through it, we'll go through it.
very good. Please then, my lord, try.
Very good. Thank you.
5 minutes.
So you didn't say about the whipping part. You said you will come to it.
Yes. Now, my lords, on the whipping part, my lords, what we have actually done, if the lordship goes back to 11.3, there are 5 or 6 exceptions which the legislature provides. There are, my lords, one of these exceptions is, my lords, nose roping. So the entire event, insofar as state of Karnataka is
Do you
concerned.
remove the ropes when they run?
I'm sorry, my lords.
Do you remove the
No,
ropes?
no. So, my lords, if nose roping, my lords, is permitted under 11.3 by the central legislature as an exception, then we have amended that 11.3, my lords, and added Kambala. So what we have effectively added, my lords, is whipping to the extent it is permissible. Now, my lords, there is no literature before my lords, no data, there is no death, there is no ticketing, as the lordships also put. It's attended by local villagers. Is the pleading in the writ petition itself.
Yeah.
So, my lords, in absence of any,
Throughout this 20 seconds, you continue to whip it.
no,
make it run?
no,
Only in the beginning.
no, there is no data. Lords, therefore, my lords, the writ petitioners have alleged that inherently writ whipping is torturous.
That's right.
And that, my lords, we have denied. Therefore, the committee was appointed. The committee was directed to be appointed by the High Court.
They got a thick skin.
Lords, I don't know if your lordships are referring to humans or me, but yes. But yes, the whipping is not continuous, lords. There is no data except some photographs.
Occasional whipping.
Occasional whipping. Permissible under 11.3, competency is not under.
Why do you say it's permissible under 11?
Because we have amended 11.3 by state.
All right. City Council is there. Most of you will.
Yes.
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
My lords.
Don't.
No, I will.
We'll not allow you to take.
No, I'm not taking. I'm not going to read any books, my lords. I have a written submission. I will give.
Who are you, Jayant?
My lords, I am appearing for IA number 174687. in writ petition number 24. Please kindly pass this written submission. My lords.
What is your submission?
My lords, I am the bull owner. I have 13 native bulls in my farm and my bulls participate in this event. I am organizer. I was a minister and sitting MLA and my district is the highest this conducted in the Jallikattu.
IA number 1 minute.
147, oh sorry, 174, I'm sorry, 174687.
1746
687 of 2022,
in,
writ petition 24 of 2016.
yes, anything more?
Yes, sir, my lords, I just kindly have my 5 minutes, but I'm not going to read.
Can't be
No, my lords, there.
Just say 2 minutes and we'll finish.
Yes,
We
2
can't
minutes.
be-
Kindly see, my lords, fundamentally, the argument started by saying that you are not coming under the entry 17 because it's not a prevention, it was perpetuating. My straight answer is, and the argument starting with that is fundamentally wrong. My lords, prevention is not a mere prevention. Kindly take my notes, my lords, let's go through it. It's
We'll
only
go through that.
4 pages, my lords, kindly take it.
No, we'll go through your note. When you have put it down in notes,
Yes,
you don't
my
have to
lords,
argue.
your lordship have seen entry has to be given widest interpretation.
That's all the
Yes,
argument.
what is the prevention, my lords? Prevention here means, my lords, categorizing animal, defining a cruelty, permissible limit of cruelty, usage of animals, regulations, prohibitions, exemptions, everything encompasses in 17. So starting with saying that you are not covered under the
We know
entry is
that.
wrong. Second point, my lords, your lordship are testing our state amendment, section 11. My humble submission, my lords, it can't be. Because my lords, we are not testing a section 28 against section 11. Once the state amendment comes, it becomes the part of the central enactment. It is a central enactment. You don't test any amendment of Tamil Nadu co-existing provision in the central act. It can't be done, my lord, because the repugnancy test will never applicable such a situation. Once the state comes in, get a precedent or that, it become a part of the central enactment. So that point is the repugnancy testing level is gone, my lord.
Yes.
Then, my lords, Jallikattu is recognized by the state as a cultural traditional event. My lords, who can challenge this, my lords? Who can challenge? A person sitting in USA and UK having headquarters, coming and telling Tamil people, this is not your culture.
Correct.
My lords, your constitutional violation, you can come and challenge. But you can't come and which is my culture and the state recognized by act. My lords, in 2016, state did not recognize it as an act by act. Now by statute, it is recognized as a cultural event. Then some third person cannot come and say unless that's the third point. Fourth point, my lords, comes under the 15 and entry 15. Preservation of animals. My lords, I said in my written submission, my lords, 4 breeds were used. Out of this, 1 breed is no more even counted now. It's almost extinction. Well, these cows are giving only 2 to 3 kgs of milk
Okay.
when comparing to imported
We'll
breeds.
go through your note now.
My lords, then fourth point, Article 1421 and the last point, my lords, mere abuse or violation of law, possibility of law will not make the law.
Citation.
In my written submissions, that's the last point. 2005, 7 SCC, 764.
Very good. Thank you.
Well, that is the last judgment. I have given whatever the judgment, even the knocking out the basis of the judgment has given.
2005 7 SC.
Just a moment, Mr. Senior Counsel.
2005, 7 SCC, my lord.
You wanted to say 5 minutes the same
764.
way? And we
Well, it's my written submission. And one more thing, my lord, I have given the details of all the animals conducted, performance in the globe, pig, everything cat. Then India. Then another, my lord, in bull, how many countries?
Very good, very good. You're doing
This
it.
compilation is given.
I am for Lord, I am for impeded respondent.
Just a moment. Please finish it. 5 minutes each.
I'll be very brief. I may not exceed
5
the time
minutes.
limit. Yes, Madam.
Not even 5 minutes.
Yes, Madam. I am only bringing to notice.
Who are you, first of all?
Madam, I am the petitioner, Madam, in IA number 11/2016.
In petition?
You know, he is an association, registered association.
In
known as-
petition, petition.
Petition.
24 of 2016.
What is your, same point you're adopting? IA number 11 of 2000.
IA number 11/2016.
In the petition 24 of Yes, what is it that you want?
That's only 2 points I want to highlight, nothing more. I will not exceed the time limit. We will not put any for.
These are all.
Madam, point number 1.
They're all created. Subsequently, they
Madam, in 2009 Act, Madam,
Yes.
was struck down mainly, one of the grounds, Madam, was that it allows taming of bulls. Taming is contrary to the act. Therefore, it was struck down.
Correct.
Now, Madam, you are kindly
The
consider.
basis will change, we understand.
Madam, now
You
taming
see
has
that-
gone. Taming in that.
Your IA is a pre-amendment IA.
No.
2016, when was the amendment made? 17 years.
After that only it was, the repetition was amended.
No, then did you amend your IA also?
That's, I only have 40 minutes.
You are basically supporting the Jallikattu.
Yes, support and
So
delegate.
anything more you want to add, which
No,
is
I am-
new?
I am concerned.
Otherwise, we have, the scarcity of time. Don't repeat. We have understood your line of argument.
Only one thing, not I'm enjoying all the other things, but I'm giving my written submission.
That's all.
But only one thing I would highlight. But one few lines I will read. Virat, kindly permit me. But so all should say how the Jallikattu is being celebrated in the state of Tamil Nadu. But I am a man from Tamil Nadu. I know personally because we are organizing, we are conducting. But see, I have narrated my petition itself. But how it is.
Correct.
How is it done? Right?
You treat it with the utmost affection.
It's not an event, it is not amusement, it is a festival. It commences from Pongal. It is a festival. It is not an amusement. It is not an event. It is not a sport event.
Therefore, related to culture also.
Culture. Murad, how it is arranged? You are kindly. There are few things, Murad, I will say. No, 1 minute, Murad.
Yes.
Murad,
1 minute instead of you say. We don't.
Murad, I have been waiting here for 3 days. Murad.
You can say that's why we are permitting.
Yes. Murad, Jallikattu festival, Murad, is organized on a particular day in a village.
January.
Murad, few days before that, Murad, the village meeting is held.
Yeah.
But there must, where it is held, it is held in the temple. In the village, a common temple it is held. There not all the people converge. They decided as to how to conduct the festival. Then perhaps on the day of festival, before the bull is taken from the house, family members worship it at the home. Then only it is brought here. Number 2. Number 3, the surrounding villages gather. Common feast is arranged in the temple. I am connecting that with the temple. Common feast is arranged. Contribution is made by the villagers.
Everybody except the bull enjoys it.
Bull also enjoy. How it is done.
That's fine. That's fine. We have no problem with it.
Before the commencement, everyone goes to the temple. There, the temple bull is taken. It is godlanded and it is worshipped there.
All right.
It is worshipped. Thereof,
You have understood. There is a lot
the
of.
bull is brought to this arena.
You have now exceeded your minute. Yes.
My lords,
I am
beg
submitting
please, my
my
lords.
written submission.
About 2 minutes for you all.
Yes.
time in IA number.
Just a moment.
1 second. My
Ideally,
written
let's
submission
have-
will be received on
We
record.
have seen that.
My lords, I appear in IA 28460 of 2022, my lords, and writ petition 23 of 2016.
Okay.
Here, my lords, I am appearing for the Bull Owners and the Bull Owner Association from Killa Raipur, Punjab. Now, my lords, why I'm saying that is, my lords, because in Jallikattu matter, in Nagraj's case, in para 74, my lords, has categorically held Jallikattu and bullock cart races to be illegal, my lords. So there was an amendment which came to
I know that. What's your point?
my point is, my lords, that bullock cart race is different from Jallikattu. It is done in a stadium. It is not done, and there is a jockey. Apart from that, there are no tickets. So it does not come within the purview of performing animals, section 2B of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. And apart from that, my lords, and also section 21 and 22 of the Prevention to Cruelty Act, my lords.
Correct.
It's not a performing animal because we do not sell tickets, we do not sell, and it is known as the Rural Olympics of Killa Raipur, and it has been doing from
This
1933.
is which state we are talking about?
Punjab.
This is from Punjab.
Yes. I'm appearing for the Bull Owners, my lord, and the Bull Owner Association.
No, you have a
We are not really
Read
concerned
petition.
with that.
No, I'm not a writ petitioner. I have filed an impleading application in
Okay.
writ petition, my lords, because the notification specifically states that states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra,
So this is relates to Punjab.
Punjab,
Okay.
and it is known as Rural Olympics. It is, and bullock cart race is one of the races. There is dog race, camel race, horse race, and then athletics,
Only a bull race actually.
cart race.
Bull cart. Okay. please.
Apart from that, no, 2 minutes.
That's
2
enough.
minutes, my lords.
Sorry.
My lords, 2 minutes. Here
Sorry.
and find my lords.
Sorry.
Lordship,
We will not
Article,
permit.
Article 29,
We will-
my lords.
we will not
In
permit you.
TMA 5,
We have
11
understood-
judges
we have understood
speaks
you
about
are really
25.
Part of the session.
Can I then
That's
give
it. You
submissions?
can give your submission.
Lord, I am appearing in IA number 67113.
Yes.
Lord, I am owner of, Lord, I am having a foundation, cattle preservation
All
foundation.
right.
Lord, my
Tamil Nadu.
submission is this,
Tamil Nadu.
of Tamil Nadu.
Then.
My submission.
Lord,
Anything new?
yes, Lord,
Just whatever is new alone.
Only
and
two
just
sentences.
make sufficient.
Only 2 sentences.
Yes.
Jallikattu is neither for an entertainment nor an essential human activity. It is an essential activity to preserve the breed.
It's been argued.
Lord, that's why. Lord, I have filed my written arguments. Lord, your Lordship, please to note page 10.
Lord, I have got a totally new
One
argument.
more sufficient, my Lord.
New
Lord, your
grounds.
Lordship also please to consider, Lord, the Convention on Biological Diversity Act. Lord, in which, Lord, it says.
What is your IA number? What is your IA number?
67113 of 2000. 67113
Of
2017.
in which petition?
24 of 2016.
Okay.
Lord, I have filed, Lord, the convention, a spiral binding.
All.
A small recommendation, biological.
My lords, please note the citation, my lords. It's a 11th judge bench.
I only want to highlight the
2002.
of time. Your lordship will find the judgment at page 77 in.
You're who?
Well, as I am, the learned SG was reading, I was also appearing for union in some of the petitions.
Okay, you're for the union.
77 is an interesting judgment, my lord. Your lordship will find it interesting.
Lord, I also find.
I am appearing in IA number 14, Lord, in petition 24 of 2016. I am a bull owner. My point is very simple, Lord. In so Nagara judgment is concerned spur incurium. In so far, in as much as it is not
Your
considered.
IA number.
IA number 14, 1-4.
In what?
In petition 24,
14 of which year?
2016.
And in which petition?
Lord, in petition 24. Yes, Lord. I am for the bull owner. My argument is, Lord,
You're Andhra, I mean,
Tamil Nadu, Jallikattu, representing a bull owner. My argument is, Lord, Nagara judgment is, Lord, per se is incurium. In as such, Lord, it has not read, Lord, Article 32, Lord, in its true letter and spirit. Why? Because it has read Article 51A. It's over as it connects to part 4 of A of the Constitution, whereas 32, Lord, only confines, Lord, to part 3.
fundamental rights.
Fundamental rights, initiative of Article part 3. So part 4A.
Correct.
Yeah, secondly, Mulad, it's over the Justice Mulad, the Aniruddha Bose at the post of query to us saying, in Income Tax Act, how it is considered. Mulad, it's considered as a personal effect. Being a movable property, Mulad, section 2, Mulad 41, Mulad, 214.
All right, that's
Mulad,
it.
yes. That's what.
I am also filed, Lord, circulated. Yale Law Journal.
Here, you will say,
IA, my lord, 167905 of 2022.
you are from which place?
Submissions. I am one of the petition.
IA number? IA number?
167905 of 2022. I am the member of the parliament from Madurai.
In which case?
In 24, WPC 24 of 20.
No, are these IAs actually allowed already?
My lord, that has been. Yes.
Stop.
Now-
My IA was allowed below IA number 2.
Yeah, my-
So, Magar, what is it that you want? You are MP.
Yes.
What do you want? What do you want?
My lord, I support Jallikattu. One thing I thought I should submit is, my lord,
Your IA is
judgment of the New
which
York
year?
Supreme Court
Your IA is of which year?
of the year 2022. Now, one submission, my lord, I will not take much time. My lord was asking day one, my lord was asking on the rights and duties and the Salmon's jurisprudence. Now, there is one judgment of the New York Supreme Court where, my lord, a chimpanzee was sought to be given a writ of habeas corpus. The rights and duties. I didn't see that because she didn't. She was relying on the other judgment wherein the dolphins was sought to be. The question is this, my lord, rights, my lord, are available to the human beings. One aspect, my lord, was also asking on the Environment Protection Act. Now, there can be two ways of looking at it. Nagaraja has gone on the pretext that it is the rights perspective. It ought to have been on the duty perspective. Now, which is the duty perspective, my lord, the utility value for the persons are available.
Correct.
And therefore, you will
So,
make
Madam-
21.
Madam, you give us the
Yes,
judgment.
I have made a.
There are totally new points I want to place. Lord Lordship, kindly accommodate my request.
I appear not for the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who was the Chief Minister at the time of the passing of the enactment. I support Jallikattu. My IA number is 180000 of 2022.
1800
4 zeros, my lord, of 2022, writ petition civil number 23 of 2016, my lord. Now, this is Thiru O. Paneerselvam, who was the chief minister at that point of time.
That's right.
My lord, I am just handing over my written submissions. If your lordships permit me 30 seconds.
30 seconds allowed.
Yes, my lord. Lord, the new thing that I will be talking about, my lord, is that there is a New Zealand enactment, my lord. Now, the reason why this enactment is special, my lord, is that it specifically confers personhood on a river named the Wangui River, recognizing the Aboriginal claim of the people there. Now, my lord, the reason why I cite the statute is that it spans to approximately 126 sections, stating in precise detail as to what the effect of conferment of personality entails. You know, my submission is this, that 14 and 21 of the Constitution specifically refer to person. Person is, my lord, defined in the General Clauses Act, Article 367, my lord. Includes. Yes, yeah, that's right, my lord. Now, my lord, the Indian statutes, my lord, that define, that create legal personality, for example, the Companies Act or the LLP Act, they flesh out again in great detail every single facet of this personality. Now, my lord, if that is the case, then, and you know, other jurisdictions are doing something similar. My submission is that the conferring of personality is necessarily a legislative act. It is not subject to a judicially manageable standard, and therefore, my lord, it is only the legislature that can do it. You have 15 more seconds, my lord. The second submission, my lord.
It is something new.
Yes, my lord. My lord. This just points out, my lord, the difference between section 11, subclause 3, subclause C, which, my lord, is the permission to kill animals for dietary purposes, and section 28 of the PCA Act, my lord. Section 11, my lord, allows the killing for dietary purposes, my lord, subject to the condition that it will not cause cruel treatment. But 28 is a religious exception, which is a carte blanche exception to the entire act. And my lord, and because this is a point that Mr. Divan sought to differentiate, my lord, he said that the taking of life is different from the treatment until you take life.
During life.
That's right. But if your lordship sees 28 of the PCA Act, my lord, it says that there is a carte blanche exception on religious grounds in the manner in which life is taken. So the act as originally enacted, my lord, envisaged a religious grounds exception in the manner of taking life. Therefore, my lord,
thank you.
Please, Lordship, I am appearing, my lord, in support of Jallikattu, and my IA number 2 of 2016 was allowed, my lord, on 13 January.
All right. What's your point?
My point is this, my lord, the fresh new point.
Yes.
This judgment of 2014 needs an overruling because the very basic concept, the subject matter was not understood properly by the court.
All right.
The court was mentioning about bulla when we were dealing with the bulls and calling bull as a draught animal under the 1965 rule, which I have attached, my lord, in this my copy. Lordship, kindly have a look.
You have given a written.
Yes, I have passed on a written submission.
We'll go through that. We'll go through that.
Only bullock is a draught animal. Only it is used for ploughing and other agricultural purposes, transportation, not bull. Bull is uncastrated. It is used only as a stud animal, not a draught animal. So there is a foundational flaw, my lord, in that judgment. Number 2, the judgment mentioned bull fight. There is no fight happening. I have placed the dictionary meaning here. Fight means there should be some violence involved, and that is missing here. There is no fight.
You want violence to be added.
Let me read
So
the
bullet
dictionary meaning, my lord. It says
That's all right.
to attack or engage an enemy in a combat, to take part in a conduct, fight against something or someone.
All right, Mr. Counsel.
Lord,
Given your written submission, that's enough. Yes.
So I have referred to paragraph numbers also, my lord.
We will go through that.
Number 3, legislative competence. Legislative competence is not just under Schedule 7 rule, list 2 and 3. It is also derived under Article 243G, dealing with the panchayat, read with Schedule 11, where the power is given to the state to enact a law and confer the power on the panchayat.
That's a new point. We'll take
in the rural setting, in the villages, relating to 4 items. My lord, I am reading: agriculture, animal husbandry and dairying, cultural activities, maintenance of community asset. My submission is, my lord, this is a cultural activity. This is a community asset because it is depleting. It has to be preserved. The community has got an interest in preservation of bull.
Very good.
Foreign jurisdiction.
That's a
New point, my lord. not touched by the other side.
Because we said that new point.
There is a New Zealand High Court judgment of 2022. I have given the citation.
Very good, very good.
And where it was related to rodeo, they say that the approach, they've got a similar legislation. They say that ours is a animal welfare approach, not animal right approach. Lordship sir was inquiring during the trial whether right has to be conferred. They say similar provision.
That's enough.
Spain, let me, 2 minutes, my lord.
No, it's not possible.
Some important point.
You have your written submission, that's why we are saying no.
Scientific advantage, A2 milk. A2 milk, my lord, it is derived. Lordship, kindly allow me 2 minutes, my lord.
We have heard you. We have
No, that's
given you
A2
time,
milk.
and you have given your written
A2 milk is derived only from cows from this breed.
That's right.
Not A1 milk is cancerous, cancer
Very good,
producing,
very good.
diabetes producing, whereas A2 milk, if it has to be done, it is through milk.
Lordship,
Thank you.
Last one, Millard, last one. Reconciling constitutional provision, they have referred to 51A.
All right.
They refer to this one, G and H, Millard. Lordships may kindly refer to F and J also.
Very good.
To value and preserve the rich heritage of
Yes.
composite
Yeah.
culture.
Thank
To
you.
value and preserve the to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity.
Thank
It
you.
has to be reconciled, read along with this compassion and
Lordship, I am appearing
Criticism.
in read petition 1188 of 2017, which is referred in this batch of matter. I am appearing for the farmers in Maharashtra. My point is that there are 5 in
Race only in your Maharashtra is race.
race, bullock cart races. There are the farmers' right to livelihood and occupation is involved in this case.
That's right.
Animal husbandry is part and parcel of agriculture.
Correct.
All state acts defines agriculture.
Yes.
Animal Lordship, I have. If these races, a sizable population in the dry region in Maharashtra solely dependent on the procreation of these bulls, which are used, and mainly the khilad bulls.
Right to livelihood. Yes.
Right to livelihood, and population of khilad bull in the year 2012 was 20 lakhs, which was in the 2019 census reduced to 13 lakhs because of ban on the bullock cart races. About the rights and duties, I will just say, Salman says right is an interest which is recognized and protected by the rules of justice. One. Salman also says there is correlation between rights and duties. There is another view of Austin which says every right may not confer duty and every duty may not confer the right. That's another view.
Right.
I will just give.
I am in IA number 173749 of 2019, your lordships, in writ petition number 1152. Karnataka matter, your lordship.
You're saying what?
I'm basically in support of what stand of state council, except for this one judgment, let's say by the constitutional court in Spain, your lordships, which say there is a ban that was imposed. Subsequently, the constitutional court has set it aside. I'll place that in my written submission.
Thank you. Yes. Now you
I have filed one IA on behalf of
Yes.
Race Association. My lord, I will file my detailed certain submissions. And I am supporting the bullock cart.
Very good.
The state of Maharashtra.
Very good. Support.
Yes. Now I'll deal, as your lordship knows, I'm appearing in the one which is against the state of Tamil Nadu. I'm going to first deal with the points which were raised by Mr. Sibal.
Yeah.
And then I'll try and I'll progress downwards. Now to save time for the purpose of the rejoinder, have you given it to them? I have just summarized some of the points which we want to make.
Yeah.
And I'll take you through this so that we can proceed rapidly.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm going to go slowly. So please allow me to hasten. Allow me to hasten slowly. This is a rejoinder. It's a very important part.
We will not assemble again for this. I mean, we have
in a constitution bench. Well, I understand the constraints of your lordships. I have spoken.
You can put it down in written submission. Whatever you want to say.
Brothers, a rejoin, and if there has been, I don't want to tarry on this.
I'm not saying
It's brothers, I'm urging the court, because this is not just a question of this one case. When the constitution bench assembles, of course, we have to all assist the court in reaching a resolution.
Please don't. Please go ahead.
Yes, so I will. Now, my lords, the first set, because I want to take you through this, we prepared this only keeping in mind that it is going to be it's going to save some time.
Yes.
Now, let me just indicate we have table A, which begins at page 1. Now, the points of Mr. Sibal, which I am meeting, are these. Point, file a suit. Number 2, there are disputed questions of fact. Number 3, that there is no Article 21 issue arising in this case at all, because it doesn't have to do with the right to life as far as human beings are concerned.
Yes.
Now, let me summarize my points and then I'll deal with the aspects of the table. First point, since 2017 is the writ petition,
Yes.
and in subsequent years, there are detailed IAs which have been prepared and which are filed on the record of this court. Those IAs bring on us being supported by affidavit, bring before this court detailed reports
Yes.
which are based essentially on 2 sources.
Yes.
The first source is an eyewitness investigation of people who attended the event.
Yes.
They took photographs,
Yes.
they made their notes, and they compiled it in a report. So it's based on eyewitness investigations.
Yes.
The second element of the report is
Yes.
based on very reliable media reports. So let me explain that.
Yes.
You have situations where deaths have taken place and injuries have taken place across several districts in the state. If deaths and injuries have taken place in several districts across the state,
Yes.
what we have done is we have compiled on the basis of media reports from various reliable sources and put them first in the report. And we want to point out 2-3 factors. First factor, this is filed in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. The state government doesn't file a response challenging the 17 facts, the 18 facts, the 19 facts, the 2020 facts, the 21 facts, and the 22 facts are filed not on affidavit, but in some sort of a tabulated statement.
Yes.
So they had the time to contradict. They didn't say anything on affidavit because they had nothing useful to say. And the reason why we are fortified in our submission in this regard is that if those media reports are coming year upon year, reporting death, cruelty, and atrocities, surely the state government, responsible as it is, would have contradicted the reports and said, sorry, this is completely wrong. This is false. You're spreading wrong and incorrect news.
Yes.
None of that.
Yes.
So these are not just some paper news reports on the which we have bundled together and brought before the court and said that, all right, believe what is stated here. No, they are compiled methodically. They are placed in a report. The report is placed on affidavit in this court. Now let us just please go to page 1 and I'll try and proceed rapidly. So I'll explain how this is done in the context of a couple of...
You have given detailed...
No, but I want to take your lordships through this and the report. So please bear with me. So I want to explain first how this works. I want to explain how this works because a bold statement is made that there is no facts on record and there is no facts at all about any of this. Yes.
Just other issues are there.
No, please, I don't want to. Yeah.
It's all right. You go ahead.
I'm grateful. So may I take your lordships to page 1, please, of what I have just tendered? Let me just explain this in some detail, how it works, and then it will become easier.
Yes.
So you will see column number 2. It is annexure P19 in volume 1 of the writ petition filed on 6th July 2017. More than adequate time. Now, the dates and the investigation, this is 2017 report. I didn't read this in the opening because I read it. I pointed out the 2022. So this only covered reports between 5th and 12th of February 2017. The act had come into force by now, and you will go on the next date. There are dates essentially in the month of February. Now, please see relevant pages of the report. Now, please see the bold portion. Casualties and injuries between January and June 2017. Human deaths, 15. Human injuries, approximately 2,000. Animal deaths, 5 bulls, and animal injuries, 7. Now, please go to the next column. Whether PETA reports are based on eyewitness investigations and other sources. Yes, eyewitness investigations. The photographs at the events were taken by PETA investigators. The reports from following reputed media sources were used to collate information about injuries to humans and bulls. The Business Standard, Hindu, Times of India, Hindustan Times, Indian Express, New Indian Express, and Deccan Chronicle. Now please go to the last column. State reply contesting the report. None. The state has not contested any of the media reports cited insofar as PETA is aware. Now please go over the leaf, page 3. This is the 2019 IA. Casualties and injuries between January 18 to February 18. 10 human deaths. 757 human injuries. Animal deaths, 5 bulls. Detailed particulars which are given. Please go to page number 4. IA 7th August 2019 with an affidavit in support. Casualties and injuries in 2019, human deaths 8, human injuries 597, animal deaths 5 bulls and 1 cow. Very many details further given. Now please go serial number 4 at page 5. Human deaths 13 in the year 2020, human injuries 570, animal deaths 6 bulls, and we go into the various deep. Now 2021 was a really unfortunate year. Human deaths 14, human injuries 1,119, animal deaths 1, animal injuries 8. And insofar as the year 2022 is concerned, again the human deaths soared to 17, human injuries 1655, animal deaths 2. Now, please, in this document itself, again drawn from this report, I would like your lordships to go, because I'm just explaining how we've compiled it. Go to page 23, just for a moment. So page 23, second bottom half, you will find a Times of India report of 2019. Bull barges into Jallikattu spectator gallery and gores man to death. So when we get a report like this from the Times of India, there's no denial by the state government. This counts as 1 death. Please go to the next page, page 24. Times of India, Kalakutti Jallikattu, bull tamer gored to death. Please go thereafter, if your lordships would, directly. Please go to page 31. Youth Hindu, the youth gored by bull during Alanga Nallur Jallikattu dies. And the earlier page, page 30. Page 29. Bull released during Jallikattu dies after being hit by train. This is from a Times Now report. And, Mirror Now report. And please see page 29 if your lordships would. 2 tamers, including a student, killed in Jallikattu event. This is drawn from the Hindu, page 29. So this is the reliability. And I think since we are not going to have the advantage of visiting one of these, look at page 34. Because a lot was said about one person mounting the bull. Please just have a look at page 34, which gives you a report from India Today and Hindu as to how this event is being conducted. There are hordes of people. lots of individuals at the same time, and the rest of it, your lordships will see, for example, page 36 from the Deccan Herald. Rights activist raises red flag after 7 die in Tamil Nadu Jallikattu. And please go again, if your lordships would, to page 35. Spectator strays outside the seating area in Trichy, gored to death by the bull. Now, with this background, I'm only going to refer to one IA. Please just take up IA. I've asked the court master to keep it ready. 55826 of 2020. 558. So this I hadn't placed earlier because they said they didn't have time for 2022. So please see the 2020 IA 55826 of 2020. Haven't we asked them to keep it ready? We had asked them specifically to keep this one IA ready to save time. Now this is being projected. What your lordships were told is that we now have a very sanitized and improved version of events. So 2017 came and went, 2018 came and went, 2019 came and went. Now we are in 2020, the fourth year in which this event is being conducted. And let us see what the eyewitness report showed with regard to the conduct of this event.
Yes.
Your lordships have it. Please go to page 13 of the report.
Yes.
This is the PETA report for investigations held over 5 or 6 days, 15th till 19th January 2020. Please go to page 13. We have a few eyewitness volunteers who have gone and tracked it and taken photographs. Now, what did they see at a handful of events? Because this is going on right from January all the way into May or June. Now, please see page 13. The impression which was given, your lordships have page 13. So the impression given was there's one bull and one human being. Look at the bottom of page 13, both the photographs. Please go to page 14.
They have said that it will be more than one participant.
No, many tamers pounce on the bull. I am pointing out the extreme cruelty. Please go to the bottom of page 14. A bull falls onto a tamer inside the arena.
Let us get one thing straight.
Yes.
When you're saying all this. You're challenging an act, the rules, etc.
Yeah. Yes.
Now the possibility of it falling into disuse, abuse, or it being abused.
Yeah.
Cannot be the standard by which you will get the validity of the act.
No, I'm making it very simple. The argument was regime change. I remember hearing that expression.
Absolutely.
I am pointing out that as between, how did this court decide the case and correctly decide the case in Nagaraj? On the basis of reports filed by the Animal Welfare Board and certain supplementary affidavits.
So that
I'm sorry.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Factual matrix
Then
no longer exists because.
So I am showing you it survives.
That's what we're saying. There might be instances where the illegality committed. Then 11 will kick in.
11?
11, 1A, etc., etc. What is it that you can ultimately do?
No.
You will punish the person who commits.
You can't punish the person. There's no penalty. Please, I'm going to show you there's no penalty provided in the rules.
That you may leave it. How we are going to.
No. I am.
In case we allow it.
Yes, of course, because your lordships are open till the end.
We are not saying that.
Of course.
We are saying
yes.
In case we uphold it, there will be a lot of safeguards which we'll have.
Look, there's no question of safeguard. This is per se because what I'm showing your lordship is what the state is projecting according to us is humbug. That to show that I'm pointing out page 15. Now please go to page 15. How can you argue with this material on the record? You don't contradict it. You don't file an affidavit, and then when this is being pointed out, you say no. Please issue curative directions. This is practiced in 2020. You had the time in 17, 18, 19. If you failed to correct it until 2020, obviously the rules are not working at all. So this is an eyewash. And my lords, ultimately my submission is going to be, your lordships with your vast experience are not going to be gullible as the state of Tamil Nadu may wish you to be. You're going to examine the material on the record. So please see page 14. Look at 14. Many tamers pounce on the bull. The bull falls onto the tamer inside the arena. Now look at 15. The panicked bull charges back into the Wadi Vasal from the arena. Look at page 15. Some stray incident.
We are just saying that the bull is slightly better compared to our condition.
That may be. Please see page 15. please have a look at page 15. The photograph where the bull charges back, because I mean, the whole idea of cruelty was that the sensational, not just deprivation, but the noise, the physical is so great that the flight, and he has, there is a flight response here. Now, please go directly, if your lordships would, to the, for example, go to page 44 and 45. Just look at 44 and 45, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to read from what they have said, the sanitized version of how it is conducted. Go to page 44, please. Your lordships have 44?
Yeah.
So this is the manner in which the crowding takes place. Look at the number of people on page 44. Many tamers attempt to subdue a bull and some hold by the horns. Now look at the next page. Several tamers simultaneously. 2 tamers pounce on the bull. And your lordships were told it is one at a time. There are 3 jumps. There's 1 hump. This hump and jump theory, which is being pushed forward by the state, according to me, is eyewash. And it is eyewash in the sense it's contrary to the record. I can understand if they said that, look, this doesn't seem to be an event. We've checked up and there was no such event which took place on this day. Or that this seems to be a photograph of another day or another year. Or this is pre-2017. None of that. This is 2020. Now, please have a look at page 59. Look at the cruelty. Look at page 59, the photographs. Is this to be ignored? Is the 59 as well as 60 of this report? So, if your lordships are pleased to turn to that. So, this is showing, what does this show?
Who took
this? I'm sorry.
Who took this photograph?
I said so. The photographs are taken by it's mentioned in the report itself. There are field investigators who went there, and on the basis of which they have prepared this report. So we have called. I have described this. Sorry.
Did he lodge a complaint with the authority?
We did. We initially did. There were some FIRs, but I am going to show your lordship. I am going to show your lordships that, and we are making these reports. You see.
Mr. Diwan.
So please just go to the, yes, sorry.
A small request. Can we draw any adverse impression?
Put the mic.
Mic is on.
Yes.
Can we draw any impression based on these photographs which were shown to us? One thing.
Yeah.
Second is, there may be stray instances in any year, but we are testing on the angle of the Constitution about the scheme in place as to whether after the assent has been granted by the President to the statutory enactment applicable in the state in question, how far it is a valid enactment or not. If you go on taking an impression based on photographs, it will be a very dangerous situation for us. We can't hold that the provision enacted in this of the Act of 1960 by a state amendment with the assent of the President is bad in law because the photographs say so. Can we say? Or can we record any finding based on these photographs that the legislation is bad?
All right, let me answer. Let me answer this question. Let's answer this question threadbare.
Mr. Diwan, would it be possible to conclude if we take it tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
I think so.
By what time? By what time? But
we conclude by 4 o'clock. I think all of us will conclude. I've got 15 minutes left, and the rest of us will conclude in the 2-hour sessions which remains, the final session.
I don't think there'll be.
Yeah. We'll be very grateful. Yes.
Are you lordships proposing to sit tomorrow? You can.
What we have no option.
No. What I'm saying, my respectful request is to limit us on a particular time. We have no problem. They've had a lot of time. But let me be honest with you. No. I have no problem.
More time now.
No. We have no problem, my lord. What we're saying is limit us to time. We'll finish it tomorrow. There's no question. Once your lordship says 20 minutes, half an hour, we'll finish.
2 p.m. with that afternoon session, we will complete it at our end. Citation.
Mr. Dewan, let them continue and so that we continue tomorrow.
Yes, so I'll use my
15 minutes.
minutes.
Yes, can you utilize?
Yes, so now first let me use the 15 minutes to answer the question. Sorry.
Some health issue.
Your Lordship recalls. Now I'll answer. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean,
Yes, I'll.
well.
Oh, sorry. Then we'll see tomorrow. I'm so sorry.
You didn't hear.
No, I didn't realize that. My apologies. No. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that.
Because Dewan,
No, of course, Manoj.
The mic
Dewan was in full swing, so nobody
Yes, Manoj, absolutely, Manoj. Yes.
You can just, we'll just tell you something. There is an article in the
Bull area.
Yale Law Journal.
Yes, Manoj. I have.
That is C.K. Ellen.
Yes, Manoj.
There's an article, I don't know whether you've
Yes,
read it.
Manoj. I've also marked the pages, Manoj.
We have circulated that article by.
Lordship, there are two more items. 2 and 503.
Not possible today.
Any other place? After vacation.
You put it after vacation, there is no point in keeping it.
I think the other matters.
Yes.
Great.
Obliged, Manoj.